the Browns.
Okay.
So the Browns, they restructured their Deshaun Watson deal. So that frees up $36 million in cap space.
That's a lot of money.
A lot. So now they have about $24 million to work with.
How did they clear that much money up? Was it a bonus that they paid him?
A bonus, but they also pushed it to later on, which that contract, the next 3 years, he's going to be making $64 million annually.
Yeah, I
cap
mean,
hit.
just give him some massage coupon tickets, and then I feel like he'll be good.
And so they signed Obo Akranu. He was a really nice player on the Texans last year, one of their bright spots. They go out and sign him.
That's good.
And now, if I'm the Browns, I would draft a wide receiver because they've drafted wide receivers pretty well. I like Donovan Peoples-Jones an awful lot. I would go out and get somebody. And then, because they have the 12th overall pick. And then in defense, if you really want to make that defense even better, I would look at someone like a Bud Dupree or Leonard Floyd or maybe a Fletcher Cox if he decides to leave the Eagles. And I go out and get some defensive players. And I think that team would be pretty nice because last year the defense was pretty bad. This year, this is kind of the year where they piece it all together, allegedly.
Allegedly.
If Deshaun Watson is as good as he once was, all right, perfect. There we go. We got some weapons. We have Amari Cooper. We have Nick Chubb, David Njoku. I like that a lot. So go all in. This is the year the Browns don't suck. Fun fact. You know how many times the Browns have made the playoffs the last 33 years?
Twice.
You were close. They've made it 3 times in the last 33 years. Imagine if every 11 years your Browns make the playoffs. And guess what they do? They lose. Every time. The only team they could beat was the fossilized Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, well, that wasn't even his fault. That was one of those games where everything was going wrong from the jump. Like as soon as the game started, he had a high snap. The end of Ben Roethlisberger's career was kind of sad because it felt like he got screwed over. Where it felt like everything or something wrong was about to happen.
Right.
In those games, especially their defense would get roasted when they'd have one of the better defenses in the NFL in the playoffs.
What do you think the Browns should do?
The Browns, I feel like their defense is still pretty solid. You got to shore up the linebacking core. Your secondary is decent, but I would add maybe one more piece in the draft. But I agree. Go out there and draft a wide receiver. You have a good offensive line, then shore up your linebacking core. Get another corner, get another safety, explore someone like James Bradbury and Darius Slay as well. And then you have to really consider what you want Deshaun Watson to be. Do you want him to focus on running the football with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb and have that open up the offense? Or do you want to go young at receiver? Because I'm sure DeAndre Hopkins would be more than happy to play with Deshaun Watson again. I'm not sure how personal their relationship was throughout that scandal, but they already have chemistry. We already know they're a dynamic duo. They were up 24-0 to the Chiefs. I get they lost the game, but they were still up 24-0 on the Chiefs in the playoffs. So that was really impressive. But for the Browns, you can do everything you want, but Deshaun Watson has to get back to himself. And absolutely. I feel like the thing is, everyone's going to sleep on the Browns, but if Deshaun Watson becomes himself again, he is a top 3 quarterback in the league, and it's not even a question. If Deshaun Watson at his peak had no offensive line, had DeAndre Hopkins, his best running back he ever had was Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller was Deshaun Watson's best running back in the NFL after playing with Clemson and the stable of running backs they had. And now you have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb will easily be his best running back duo, easily his best tight ends. And David Njoku, I can already see him and David Njoku having a really good chemistry. And then you have Amari Cooper, played actually surprisingly well last year.
Very well.
I was kind of shocked how well Amari Cooper played. And I feel like he played almost better than he did the previous year in Dallas.
Oh, he did, for sure.
With Cleveland. And then you have Donovan Peoples-Jones. So you either go out there, draft a receiver, or go out there and sign someone like Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's going to be one of those guys who, if you need a third really solid veteran presence who's going to be a touchdown machine for you and get you 10 to 15 touchdowns, it feels like he gets a touchdown every single week. So it's like you go out there and get someone like Thielen, but really got to figure out what you want the offense to look like with Deshaun Watson, because I feel like their coach is a little more run the football first. But if you come out firing with Deshaun Watson next year, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, uh-oh, because Deshaun Watson's like, he's easily better than Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. He's a better thrower, than Lamar Jackson, and he's as good as a runner as anyone else in the league. It's like it's not even close, and it's kind of amazing how bad the Texans were and how much success that Deshaun Watson brought that franchise.
Yeah, no,
Like even
absolutely.
when they missed the playoffs, he led the league in passing yards.
Yeah, no, he's a cheat. If he can go back to his old self, that Brown team's going to be scary
Yeah.
because you have Nick Chubb, who's one of the best running backs in the league. You have David Njoku, who's an amazing tight end, and then you have Amari Cooper, solid one. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I like him a lot, and then you got that defense with Myles Garrett. So that team, it's a team that's it's a risky team to bet on because it's the Browns and they're historically horrendous.
Yeah.
However, they made that big, albeit slightly desperate move to get Deshaun Watson. But if it pays off, it pays off. And if they can compete for the division next year, absolutely.
Yeah, they can definitely compete for the division next year, especially with Myles Garrett. He's always one of the front runners for defensive player in the year. He's putting in the work year in and year out. But I feel like go out there and get him another really good edge rusher. If you can get someone like Leonard Floyd, I would think that would be a really good fit with him. So there, can always use more offensive line depth. But I feel like the Browns are the biggest boomer bust team in the NFL next year
Yes.
because I kind of want Deshaun Watson to be going through the motions till like week 7, refining his foot, and then him to just go on an absolute tear at the end of the season. It's like
Hmm.
I get everything he did, but he's still one of my favorite players to watch. And he was my favorite quarterback before the whole scandal happened in Houston.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how things turn around for him. Part of me, I'm kind of 50-50 on it because if I see him go back to his old ways, I'm going to be like, wow, we've missed this, you know, as far as NFL is concerned, one of the best talents that we've seen the last decade or so, as far as from the quarterback position. However, if he sucks, I'll be like, all right, well, he deserves to suck, and this is a funny way for the Browns to continue to be a poverty franchise. Either way, I'm kind of watching the train roll and see how it goes
Yeah,
for the Browns.
general feeling right now, if you had to pick a division winner, who are you going with right now? Gut feeling.
Gut feeling. Hmm.
Like,
I'm nervous about the Bengals because of the misses that they've made. I'm not so sure about the Steelers with Kenny Pickett and the Ravens and Lamar. That's a lot of controversy. So if Deshaun Watson goes to where he was last few years,
yeah,
honestly, I can see the Browns winning the division.
same.